Hi, and welcome to episode 38 of M1 Yarns and the Michigan Makers podcast. I'm your host, Jamie, the knitter and dyer behind m1yarns.com, coming to you today from Detroit, Michigan. And let's see, this is a mostly knitting podcast, a little bit of sometimes yarn dyeing related stuff, sometimes life stuff. You get what you get here. So we are now here in mid-July, and so I thought it was the perfect time to talk about how I prepare for what I call Rhinebeck weekend, or the New York Sheep and Wool Festival weekend, which now comprises like 3, 4, 5, a whole host of other events. This festival weekend happens in mid-October, and this will be my third time attending, and I'm going with a group of friends. We are attending events Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and so of course you have to make a handmade object for each day. So I thought I would walk you through what I'm making / what I will make for that weekend, because a lot of preparation has gone into these projects, and so that will be kind of a fun, like, creative process thing that maybe will inspire you for some future fall makes for you. But first, let's talk about what I'm wearing. I am wearing the Velvet Mirror Cowl by Andrea Mowry. This is a cowl knit with merino in a sport weight yarn, and also with a, let me get closer, Surrey alpaca for that beautiful halo effect. And this is actually a kit that's in my shop in a bunch of different color combos, and would be a great first color work project for an adventurous knitter. Definitely doable, and it's knit in the round, so you get like a really thick kind of like both sides situation, and then it's seamed to make it a Mobius. So it's got like a little twist to give it, I think, some creative flair. Yeah, this I think is just a really fun accessory, and I'm looking forward to wearing this fall. So if you're thinking of starting a project now that you'd like to have done when the weather is cowl, what do you call it, appropriate, this would be an awesome project. And then I am also wearing the Ranunculus by Midori Hirose, and this is knit with Honeybee Knits, who is no longer dyeing yarn. I bought this yarn several years ago at a trunk show she had, and I love it. I've knit this pattern several times. So yeah, anyway, okay, so let's dive into these Rhinebeck makes. Oh, can we talk about this? Okay, unless you've been living under a rock on Instagram, the knitwear designer, Jessie May, has literally, along with her friend Park of Park and Knit, who's also a knitwear designer, they have been influencing the heck out of people with these water bottles that they bought on a trip to REI, I believe. And the cool thing that they were talking about was that with the spout, you can both sip, like, there's a straw, so this hole is a typical, like, water bottle straw situation, or you can gulp through the bigger hole. So we've been needing some new water bottles at our house, I immediately was like, oh, this sounds great, because I like to sip through a straw, but my husband likes to gulp. I kind of like the option, so I got one. I got it on Amazon. This is the 24-ounce bottle. Yeah, this is the 24-ounce. What's really cool about it, the sides are flat, as you can kind of see, which I have a really small hand. It makes it really easy to grip. This fits nicely in your typical car cup holder. I loved it so much, I had to buy more. So I bought my husband one. Then I bought myself another one. Then I bought myself a 30-ounce one, 32-ounce. But this one I really don't like. I thought I would like bigger is better kind of thing, but this doesn't have the side grip situation. It's a little too big, so when it's full and heavy, it's hard to drink, and it does not fit in the car cup holder. So you did not come here for a water bottle review, but there you go. Okay, back to the Rhinebeck planning. So my first pattern I actually just finished. It is the Cowgirl Crop by, I'm going to mess up her name, Marl, I believe is how you say it. But I'm going to insert her name and her Instagram handle and everything right here. And this was her very first design, guys. It was so well written. It was so much fun. I knit it in 10 days. I love it. I'm going to be, by the time you see this, I think I'll be about to drop a finished object review video on it separately. So I'm going to save that for there. So go check it out. I think I'm going to drop it the day after this video drops. So if you watch my videos on the day they drop, that's the situation. If you are watching this in the future, none of that matters. Just go watch the Cowgirl Crop video on my YouTube channel, which you're already on. Anyway, so that was Rhinebeck project number 1. I will wear that, since it's short sleeve, on whatever day happens to be the warm day of the weekend. Rhinebeck weekend always seems to be one warm day, one rainy day, and one like middle of the road day, I guess. I don't know. So that was one. The other project I wanted to make was a dress, and I'm probably screwing myself over on this because it's probably going to end up being like the hottest Rhinebeck of the year because of global warming. But I really want to make a dress. I saw this on Instagram and instantly fell in love with not only this pattern, but the designer's whole collection of designs. This is the gimlet. Let's see. Okay, I have to set this up in front of me so I can walk you through this. What I did to prepare for this pattern was she has a chart on Ravelry that you can print off, which is exactly what I did. And if you can see, what I did is I highlighted the size small, which is what I plan to make. And then I picked like somewhat of a color scheme. She has 3 examples. So I did all the math up front. And then what kind of color palette I would need. So for my contrast colors, okay, so the main color of the body is going to be this soft, like heathery brown. This is mushroom. Okay, so that's the main color. Then my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 contrast colors. So most of the mohair I had in stash. So I'm just pairing worsted weight with the mohair for purposes of achieving the weight, the Aran weight. So we've got wine, denim, Victorian rose, and some mohair I dyed ages ago. It was like a one-of-a-kind. I don't know. Anyway, one-of-a-kind. Then we've got green olives with mohair. Then silver fox, along with some ice blue kind of mohair that I dyed a couple years ago. This was like I was playing around. And then soft bouquet, which I'll hold just with undyed yarn to kind of brighten it up, just because I wanted it to pop a little bit against that the mushroom. So a lot of yarn, a lot going on. It's a dress, but I think it's going to be really fabulous. So I think that's what I'm going to cast on next. I'm debating. My third project is a cardigan that I'm going to steek. And if you are new here, I just kicked off a make-along for the theme is steeking. And if you've never heard of steeking, it's when you literally cut your knitting, which sounds insane, but it is very useful in that you can knit in the round, particularly for like a colorwork sweater that you want to become a cardigan, because knitting colorwork in the round is a lot easier than knitting it flat. So to kick off this knit along, I found a really cool, what did I do with it? Steek This Coffee Cozy by Rachel Henry. And this is basically for purposes of practicing steeking. It's free, it's small. You can totally use scraps for this project. It's not going to, matter really how it looks. You're supposed to use 5 colors, but I'm just going to do 4 because I had these 4 balls of stash yarn that was just like collecting dust in my stash. And so I decided to put this to use. I cast on my coffee cozy yesterday. By the time this airs, I'm sure I'll be done with this. So I can't wait to show you. But essentially these, and I have a lot of strings going on here, so don't mind the mess. What you're going to do in here is cut these stitches, create a little button band for your coffee cozy, just so you can kind of practice. So this is my color work so far. I haven't gotten very far. So if you are interested in joining the make-along, it runs through the end of the year. If you post with this hashtag on Instagram, or I have a community forum on Ravelry. If you search in the forums for M1 Yarns, you can see the thread for the M1 Steek Along, which is the name of the make-along. And you can join the chat and cheer each other on, see what kind of cardigans people are making. So I have identified really 3 cardigans that I really want to make, but 2 that are definite front runners, and I have the yarn for one of them is going to be a Rhinebeck sweater. So I really need your help picking which one. Okay. Option number 1 is the Stonecrop Cardi by Andrea Mowry. This yarn is Crazy by Stonehenge Fiber Mill, which is a Michigan fiber mill And I bought this at the Tip of the Mitt Fiber Festival in June. These colors are totally my palette. So this would be my contrast color. And then I don't normally carry non-superwash in my shop, but FYI, I do custom dyed to order stuff. And I thought, why not dye to order what I need? I know on a previous episode we had talked about what color, like what main color to pair with this, and I couldn't really decide, and a lot of you had great ideas, but in the end I decided a neutral was what I really needed to get this to pop the way I wanted. If you look closely, it's got these like cream bits that's in the spin of the yarn, and I really kind of wanted to play with that. So I ordered this non-superwash yarn that I love, which I'm really picky about non-superwash yarn. And I dyed this really nice kind of sand color. So that would be my Stonecrop. So that's option 1. And either way, I will make both eventually. It's just which one should be my Rhinebeck cardigan. Option 1. Option 2 is in a whole different direction. And this pattern I've had in my queue, but a girlfriend of mine messaged me about 2 weeks ago and said randomly that she was considering making it. And I was like, I've had that in my queue. And funny enough, I also, just like she was thinking, totally envisioned it in like an ivory oatmealish kind of vibe, just like the sample that it was knit in. And so while this is a pretty like plain cardigan, albeit it has the cable, I really have been wanting an ivory cardigan in my wardrobe. I feel like I would get a lot of wear out of it. So I would do an undyed merino held with mohair. And so this would be option number 2. This would probably go faster, so I will put this into the universe that if the dress that I just talked to you about takes way longer than anticipated, and I'm getting to a crunch point for Rhinebeck, this will have to be my 3rd project, I believe. But if I have plenty of time, the other one could equally be an option. They're both steeked. They're both knit in the round. They're both high up on my queue. One is very colorful. One is very neutral. So those are my 3 Rhinebeck sweaters, albeit one is a dress. So if you're going to Rhinebeck, please comment below. Let me know that you're going. So number 1, I keep an eye out for you so I can say hi. Number 2, let me know what patterns you are going to make or thinking about making. And also let me know if you are thinking about making something for the Steek along. You have the rest of the year. That's plenty of time. And I really intended it that way because this is no pressure. There are going to be prizes, which is the purpose of joining the chat on Ravelry and using the hashtag on Instagram. And we're all here to cheer each other along, which is the point of posting. But really, this is a difficult and intimidating, it's not difficult, I shouldn't say that. It's an intimidating knitting skill. I've knit for like 20 years and I've never done a steeked project, and it's time to address that. So I really hope you'll join me. The yak is a gray base, so all your colorways are going to come out a little bit deeper. I wouldn't use the word warmer because that implies kind of like a color tone, but I would say richer might be a good way of describing it. I just absolutely love this yarn. The other option is the BFL blend. And this is a nice sturdy blend. It's a little bit more, ever so slightly rustic, but certainly, like, I have super sensitive skin and this doesn't bother me at all. They're both super wash. So if you're considering treating yourself or maybe a knitting friend or family member to a yarn subscription box, you can sign up on my website through early September, and it's called Yarn Addicts Anonymous, and you can head over there for more information. Also, I just briefly wanted to mention that I will be vending at the Michigan Fiber Festival the weekend of August 18th, 19th, 20th, something like that. It's a 3-day weekend. It's in Western Michigan, kind of near Grand Rapids. It's in Allegan. So if you're in the Chicago area or Indiana or anywhere in Michigan, Ohio, it's totally worth it. It's a huge fiber festival, and I hope you can make it. I'll be there vending. And other than that, I think that's all I've got for you today. Thanks for joining me for another episode, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.